have a record of working across the political aisle. I've also spent more than half of my professional life away from politics in the independent world of being an author, a journalist, and a sole proprietor.
Jim Webb saying he's the most qualified to become president of the United States. To talk about the Democratic debate last night on CNN, John Bolton, former UN ambassador. Good morning, John Bolton.
Morning. Glad to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Looked like Hillary Clinton was the class of the field last night, no?
Well, it was a little bit like on the Republican side, somebody from the top-tier debate wandered into the undercard debate, went into the wrong room at the wrong time. The fact is, none of the other people on that stage have a real chance at getting the nomination. The only question really is whether Joe Biden gets in and this turns into a real race. I know the speculation is that last night's debate makes it less likely Biden gets in. I don't agree with that. I still think he'll get in, and I do think it'll be a contest after that.
Unlike the Republican Party, it seems like they can't tear the front runner down, right? I mean, they're doing damage to their own party with the Republicans, but they can't really hurt Hillary Clinton, or at least didn't last night.
Well, look, Clinton got Christmas in October when the email subject came up, and Bernie Sanders said people are tired of hearing about it. I mean, you could tell from the look on her face this shock and amazement that he had just given her a pass. And the media questioners did not follow up. So she may have skated past it last night, but what's closing in inexorably on her is not the politics of the email question. It's the FBI investigation. Now, we don't know how it will come out, but that is far more important than how people handle these questions. But when the other candidates are not willing to tangle and the press isn't willing to set them at each other, as they were more than willing to do in the Republican debates, then you're going to get the kind of snooze factor that you got last night.
There certainly was no big buzz factor, but what about those emails? I mean, what did she apologized. It was a mistake. Isn't it time to move on? I mean, she wasn't trading national secrets with the Iranians.
Well, I think people need to understand, though, how serious this was over a sustained period of time. For 4 years, she was doing a lot of communication over unsecure systems. And if the Russians, the Chinese, Iran, North Korea were able to find that out and access what she was doing, the sheer volume of information that they could get from those emails would be worth its weight in gold. And there's another aspect of this that I think people don't understand. She was all this time using non-secure cell phones, pads, laptop computers. All of these things can be accessed by adversaries and turned into transmitters to like microphones that are telling whoever's listening everything that's being said, for example, over a cell phone. So it's not just the emails, it's the general breach of security that to me is unthinkable for a Secretary of State over a 4-year period.
John Bolton, former UN ambassador, here talking about the Democratic debate. You said Joe Biden, you think's getting in. Why do you think that?
Well, I think he's never given up the dream of running for president, and I think he's savvy enough to know that the real danger here, again, let's come back to the FBI investigation, which is proceeding beneath the surface, but just because you don't read about it every day doesn't mean that, like a shark in the water, it's not moving inexorably ahead. And I think he understands, and perhaps a few others, that if this gets serious in the spring or summer of next year, at that point it's too late for the Democrats to have a plan B. So if he's going to get in, or anybody else is an alternative to Hillary Clinton, he's going to have to do it now. I personally think it's going to happen, but we'll see.
When is it too far? When is it too late for him to get in?
Well, I think when you begin to look in November of the filing deadlines for some of the early caucuses and primaries, to participate fully, he's got to get in and file for those states. So I don't think he has too much longer, but I don't think, for example, he could have really declared last week and then not participated in this debate. But he may have felt, with the press of other duties, that he wouldn't be prepared for it. And I do think that he should understand, if he doesn't already, that if he gets in, he has exactly one opportunity to make a first impression, and he better have all his ducks in a row and until he's ready for that, as much as he might want to get in, it's premature. So again, it's the proof is in the pudding, but I expect to see it in the next couple of weeks.
John Bolton, former UN ambassador, thank you for your time, sir.
Well, thank you for having me.
You got it. 7:56. Traffic weather next. KTRS.
Hi.